Hi there, and welcome to a Penn Central 99 production. I'm Terry, and I'm your host. Today is April the 11th, 2015, so I thought I would do an update on the River Mountain Model Railroad. What we're going to talk about is some purchases, some work that we've done, and some rolling stock, so let's go ahead and get started. Well, we might as well start here in Sidewinder Junction. As you can tell, I got the rails and the track painted here for Sidewinder Junction. That was quite a task, but at least it's done. I needed to get it out of the way. So all the rail here for Sidewinder Junction has been painted. Now I just need to get the ballast in and get that glued down, and this area for the interchange track will be pretty much completed. I don't know if you can see, well, you should be able to see it here, but on one of my chain link fences, I've been experimenting with barbed wire. As you can see here, I've got what simulates barbed wire running down about half of the fence right now. What that is those are springs from ballpoint pens. So, you know, when I get a ballpoint pen and the ink runs out, I steal the spring out of the inside of it, and I just spread it apart and screw it in between the copper wire and the mesh to try and give it that simulated barbed wire look. I think that looks pretty good. Here's an overview or an overhead shot of Sidewinder Junction, and you can see there's quite a lot of track here to paint the rails. Basically what I did is I used a can of spray paint to paint the rails, and then I scraped or cleaned off the paint from the rail heads, and you can see how it turned out. I don't think it's too bad. It just took a little bit of time because there's 5 lines of track here that need to be done. Like I said, I just need to get a ballast so we can move on to the next step. Moving on to rolling stock, I've made some purchases over the past couple of months. I've bought about 6 kits on eBay that I had been looking for. Apparently they just happened to be all at sale for the same time. You can see here the bottom one, or the Western Pacific, that's a 55-foot covered hopper. I paid like $14.06 shipping for that. The Southern Pacific hopper, that was yet probably $9 and $5 shipping. And the one on the top is a recently released Penn Central 55-foot covered hopper by AccuRail. I paid the going rate for that because that's a current release. I think I paid $14 plus shipping for that. But all of these kits, none of them were more than $20 including shipping that I paid for. Like I said, I've been looking for this stuff. They just happen to be on sale on eBay at the same time. These two are Atherns. This is an AccuRail. Here are some more eBay finds. The bottom one is a 55-foot covered hopper. Painted in the Pennsylvania Railroad scheme. The middle one here is a 50-foot boxcar for CNW, and the top one here is a 50-foot gondola painted in the CNW scheme, shall I say. What's ironic about this, even though I was looking for these after I got the purchases, I actually found images of the prototypes on the internet, so I'm going to be weathering these up to look like the pictures that I found on the internet. Another nice thing about this is, even though I was looking for these, believe it or not, the same seller was selling all 3 of these. So each one of these was $8 a piece plus $8 shipping. So I paid $32 for these 3 items right here, and I think that's a pretty good find. So my word of advice to you guys, you know what you're looking for. You just got to be patient, and someday you'll find it on eBay, and you won't pay an arm and a leg for it. But those are the 6 kits that I have now that I need to put together to kind of get caught up on things. Okay, the last thing we're going to go over is some weathering. I have spent the past few weekends in the garage practicing my weathering on some rolling stock. I've gone through spray paint, airbrushing, weathering chalks and powders, to different techniques and styles. So I'm going to show you 3 cars that I've done over the past couple of weekends to practice some weathering. To do that, I have summoned Penn Central 9349 up out of the yard to parade the rolling stock in front of you so we can look and see what's been going on. So let's go ahead and bring them up to speed. Okay, the first item here that I've been weathering was a 40-foot Conrail boxcar. I probably had this thing for at least 30 years. I remember buying this when I was a kid at age 12 when I first got into model railroading. Basically what I did here is I just shot it with the airbrush with a fade to try and tone the paint down a little bit. You can see I took the doors there and repainted them a different color to kind of make them stand out a little bit. My usual technique with the trucks and the wheels. So that's pretty much the basics of the weathering pattern for that. No rust on this one, simple, short, and sweet. You can also see there on the door where I took the airbrush and some black or grime colored material and sprayed it on the bottom ridges there to make it look like dirt has been collecting in those points. I think that turned out pretty well. Okay, the next item here is a 55-foot Penn Central covered hopper. Basically what I did here on this one is a brown wash to try and tone things down and to give it that dirt look on the seams for the different panels on the side plus along the bottom. And I also tried some rust patterns on here. Basically for the rust patterns what I did is I used one of those cosmetic wedges and mixed up two colors of acrylic paint, one being brown and one being rust red, and see what it come up with there. So the rust patterns on the top here and the little rust spots on the side, basically you could say they're like dry brushed with the cosmetic wedge. I don't think that turned out too bad. But moving on, the third and final one right here is another 55-foot covered hopper. This one is in the Santa Fe scheme. Okay, basically what I did here on this one, if you look on the top, I painted the hatches a different color to make them look like they had been replaced. I took a brown oxide color and thinned it out and sprayed the sides with that brown oxide to try to give it a fade look. And as you can see here, I took some black wash or black and airbrushed it along the bottom here to make it look like a little bit of dirt has been building up. But I think all three of them turned out pretty well, and those are the three items that I've been practicing my weathering techniques on. Well, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. As always, I enjoy doing this, but most importantly, I really appreciate you watching and being a subscriber. And as always, thanks for watching.